Good morning. Today we are doing a reading vlog, but not just any reading vlog. No, we're gonna try to do a 24-hour reading challenge. I've never done one of these before, so I'm splitting it into two because I want to sleep. I haven't been sleeping well, so we're definitely gonna sleep. Let's talk about our book selection for today. I'm currently reading the Saturday Night Ghost Club, which is one of my TBR books, so it's a quick read, probably could finish this pretty easily. That being said, went to the library, picked some library books, so gotta get these done because they're about to be due. So we have The Late Night Witches. I recommended this book on my October reading list. It's a witchy kind of book, so hopefully maybe we can get through this, maybe get halfway through this. I'm not sure, we'll see. I hope I can get through this because you know what I have after this? This one, I don't know if we're gonna get through it, but we're gonna try. Calabasas by R.F. Kuang. Yeah, she's a big one. She's a big one, okay? And she's a thinker. I've read Babel. I know all about R.F. Kuang and how she be writing. You gotta sit and think about that one. It is currently, I think, like 9:30. So we're gonna try to read maybe until, well, we'll try to read until 9, but that probably won't happen. I have my nice drink ready with me. So I made some chocolate milk this morning. I already had breakfast. So I'm ready to dive into this. Audiobooks are okay. I think I'm gonna have to do some cleaning and maybe some planning. So audiobooks are totally okay. I'm ready to jump into this. I'm ready to start reading and finishing books since I've been in such a reading slump the past few weeks. So hopefully this will get me out of my slump. Hours into the 24-hour read along, and I have about 50 pages left in this book, so I can probably finish this in like the next hour. But I'm gonna take a break and have lunch because my fiance's coming home to have lunch and he's bringing home some sweet treats, so I'm gonna take a little break. I'm not gonna keep my timer going, so I'm gonna make it sure that this doesn't count. After lunch, I'm probably not gonna read right away. I have some things I have to get done, and then we'll start the challenge back up. So just a little update. I'm almost done with this. I'm enjoying it. It's not what I thought it was gonna be, and I'm curious on how this is gonna end, but it's not bad. It's a kind of a spooky read. Not really, but kind of. So we'll see how this ends. Okay, 2 hours and 50 minutes into my 24-hour readathon, and I have finished my first book. I felt like this book gaslit me, so 2 stars. Okay, here's the thing. This book was compared to Stranger Things and Stand By Me. So, you know, 80s classic kind of Stephen King vibes of kids going around in the summer in Niagara Falls, hearing the main character's like uncle tell them ghost stories, and then like investigating and like finding out like, oh, are this supposed to be a coming of age story, okay? Was it? Kind of. Listen, this was contemporary fiction. No horror. Some mystery. It's not giving what I thought it was gonna give. It says it's supposed, hold on, let me bring up the Goodreads thing real quick, because the way that this is like advertised, I'm like, I don't understand. It says a group of misfit kids who spend an unforgettable summer investigating local ghost stories and urban legends. I think they investigated 3 places, and I think every single time they got to these places, the uncle kind of gave them the gist of what the like ghost story or legend was, and then they dipped, then they left. So the plot twist in this, guess that, like halfway in, not gonna lie. If this is supposed to be horror, it's not at all. I'm sorry. Even this like cover is like this. I'm thinking there's supposed to be like a ghost girl. No, absolutely not. Nothing gets touched on. the like characters I feel like don't get like developed. There's no character development. There's no really like just getting into deep things. This book is all over the place too, because it goes from like past, future, present, all over. It wasn't bad, but I was like, don't understand how this book got advertised, and yet it's not quote unquote really what it says it is. I went in thinking like, I'm gonna get a little spooky read. I'm gonna follow these kids, Stranger Things-esque, of them going around the summer and finding spooky things, and maybe like spooky stuff is actually happening here. Stranger Things, they ride bikes and it's set in the 80s. And that's about as Stranger Things-esque I would say it is. This book is like upsetting and I hate that. I don't want to talk bad about like this book, but like, I don't know why I was expecting more. I was just expecting so much more. And like the writing is fine. I don't have no problem with the writing. This author is a really nice writer. Just the plot and like point of this book, I just feel like we're not what it said it was supposed to be. And so that's where I'm a little confuzzled. I'm moving on. I'm going to be reading one of my library books, which is The Late Night Witches. I recommended this on my Halloween one, yet I did not read it, but I saw it and I was like, intriguing. And when I went to the library, I was like, ooh. If I remember correctly, this girly pop, she lives on this like majestic island called like Prince Edward. So like, yeah, I'm talking about Edward Cullen again. Sorry. Which also, side thing, vampires show up. So yeah, I am gonna talk about Edward Cullen. If there's a vampire mentioned, he's gonna be brought up. Sorry. Anyway, vampires show up at this island during the month of October. So fitting for this month. And secrets get unraveled. Vampires, they're coming in. She's like, oh, gotta deal with this now and my crazy family. I don't know, I think it's just like a heartwarming, witchy with vampires. We'll see if we finish it. We'll see how we're going. Also, a new book has entered on our thing of my library books. It's The Wild Hunt, because I just pulled this from my TBR jar when I finished my other one. So check out that other challenge that I'm doing. So this one also might be getting read. I was trying to look for audiobooks of my library books, but since they're new, I have to wait months to get them. So if I can find the audiobook on this one, I'll be listening to this on the side instead of, because I would like to be doing things as I'm reading. Almost 4 hours. I was listening to the audiobook while I was baking, and now I'm making dinner. So we take a break, we're gonna eat, probably watch a movie, and then I'll do some late night reading. Good morning. I was going to read last night, but we ended up watching The Shining and it went on for a while and then I just kind of passed out. So that didn't happen, but I did wake up early this morning. We are going to start off reading early. We're at our 4-hour mark, so we still have 20 hours to do. We got it, no problem, no problem. It's a bit of the sun hasn't really come out today. It's a bit of a cloudy kind of day. So here, this is the vibes that we were looking for today. I've been listening to my audiobook of The Wild Hunt. I think I'm like an hour or so in to this book. So it's all right. Nothing crazy. We're building up the plot right now. So we're doing that. I have some things that I'm gonna start working on here. So I'm gonna listen to the audiobook for a little bit and then I might later in the day move to one of my library books because those do need to be read because they are due November 1st and it is October 23rd. Have a great day. We're gonna get everything done. We're gonna read. It's gonna be an amazing day. Okay, it is like 10:30. I've been listening to my audiobook. We're at like 5.5 hours. We're trucking along. I feel like I didn't get very far in the book, nor I'm not really enjoying it, but it's the beginning, so you know you gotta get through that beginning stretch. But I'm going to move on to a physical book. one of my library books and read for maybe like 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna have lunch, and then I'm gonna go back to reading. So let's see, let's go. Alrighty, I have hit the 8-hour mark, and I'm here for some updates. I've been reading the audiobook of this. I'm like halfway through. It's interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see what's going on. Having a fine time. This one, I read like an hour maybe-ish, and I'm like 100 pages in. So I'm enjoying this. It's giving like What We Do in the Shadows, but like maybe more PG, like a good like sitcom goofiness vibe. Love it. My 8-hour check-in. We're gonna keep reading. We have hit the 12-hour mark, and I hope to be finished today because I do have to go on a trip this weekend. But that being said, I stayed up last night. I read a little bit. I listened to the audiobook, and I have like an hour left in this book, so I should finish this book in our time. And I woke up this morning and have been reading this book, and I'm almost halfway through. So I think I can finish both of these books by the time this challenge is over. I don't know if I'll be able to start Calabasas, and that's okay. I really wasn't thinking I was gonna be able to start that one. So it is a very foggy, misty, gloomy morning, which love the vibes. So I'm gonna continue reading, and we're gonna finish the challenge strong. I didn't think I was gonna be able to read 3 books in 24 hours, but I think it's gonna happen. Okay, we are almost 15 hours in, and I have finished my second book. I listened to the audiobook for The Wild Hunt. This is one of my TBR books that I've been trying to read. And honestly, I enjoyed this. It was a really good audiobook. The woman who was voicing it did such good voices, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it. For an audiobook. Is it one of my favorites? No, I give this like 3.5 stars. It was intriguing. I liked the Celtic kind of traditions and urban legends, and I liked how it was crows that were kind of it. You know, this reminded me a lot of The Birds, if you've ever seen The Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock movie. Would I read it again? Probably not. But I would recommend this book to people if you want like a historical fantasy. It deals a lot, just not about like the fantasy aspect of the horrors of this legend, but it talks a lot about the war and having PTSD and dealing with the war and helping out with World War II and things like that. So if you're not really here for like a war book, then this probably isn't for you. But I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. And another TBR book checked off the list. Since we are at our like 15-hour mark, I just want to give an update. I am a little bit more than halfway through this book. I'm enjoying it. This is a good October like spooky witchy read because it's basically like a rom-com, but the romance isn't really there. It's more of just a comedy. This is a good comedy that also has some like love and family relationships and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm really enjoying this. I should be able to finish this book in the 24-hour challenge, so I'm excited about that. And then after that, I'll probably start Calabasas. Oh, I'm nervous for that book. Oh, but that's okay. We're gonna keep reading. We have 9 more hours to go, so we're trucking along. We're more than halfway through. We're doing amazing. Here is a much needed update. I think I had 15 hours left in this challenge. I am now up to 22 hours and 30 minutes. So we have an hour and 30 minutes left in this challenge. And You might be saying, how did you get those 7 hours and 30 minutes? Well, let me tell you. This book. I went to my hometown this weekend and I ended up listening to the audiobook while I was driving. So this audiobook was 7 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm counting that as part of my 24-hour challenge. That being said, I have like 100 pages left in this book, and I think I can finish this book with the hour and 30 minutes that I have left. So let's wrap this challenge up. We have finally completed the 24-hour challenge. Was this done over the course of a day or two? No, this was over 5 days. But did I read for 24 hours? Yes. Yes, I did. Did it take a few days? Yes. Yes, it did. Next time when I do this, I'll allocate my time better so that I'll have enough time to actually do this in like 1 to 2 days. That being said, there was a lot of reading done. I read 4 books in the span of reading in 24 hours, which that's kind of, I don't know, that's not a thing I usually do. So I'm really proud of myself for reading 4. I was expecting like 2, maybe 3, halfway through a third one. So I'm shocked, to say the least. I think the audiobooks really came in clutch in this. I did not talk about Normal People or The Late Night Witches, so let me just give a little rundown of my thoughts and the gist of the books before I end this video. Normal People, she was good. I have a more in-depth kind of talk in my TBR Takedown Part 2 book, since I read that. This is my TBR book, so you can go check that out. But I enjoyed it. I listened to the audiobook while I was driving, had a good time. The characters, I'm ready to watch the show now that I have the book, because I love comparing books to shows and movies. And I understand the hype for this book, but at the same time, it's not like the best book in the world. So, you know, it was good. I love Sally Rooney's writing, so I have a lot of her books on my TBR to read. So I'm excited that this was my first one of her, and I'm ready to read some more books from her. The Late Night Witches, whew, what a good spooky like October read. It's perfect because it takes place in October, and like the big action-packed day is Halloween. So great atmosphere if you want to read some spooky witch stuff. I know it's coming to the end of October, but maybe for next year, or maybe if you just want to bring in that Halloween spooky vibes throughout the year when it's not this season, this is a really good book. This book reminds me of kind of Gilmore Girls meets What We Do in the Shadows meets a sitcom like Abbott Elementary or Superstore or something like that. Something that's like just the wittiness and like the good timing of the jokes. This is what that book reminds me of. This book follows a mother named Cassie who basically has raised her sister since they've been orphans for a while, and now she has her own kids, and her husband has left on a work business trip, but like honestly no, I don't think he's come back. And it is just turned October 1st, and some weird things start happening in the town. Pumpkins start showing up. There's just some weird energy. People keep telling her to go visit her like aunt that she hasn't talked to in forever. So some weird stuff's happening, and then all of a sudden her sister calls her and is like, hey, my ex-boyfriend, he's doing something weird, could you come help me? Turns out her ex-boyfriend got turned to a vampire, a half vampire. He's not a vampire yet. So now they're like, vampires are real. What else is real? This whole spooky island they live on has been overtaken by vampires. And guess what? Their family comes from a long line of this like powerful witch family. And the oldest daughter in that generation has to battle this vampire called the Deliverer, or Del for short, on every Halloween. Yet the prophecy says that the 13th witch, that's it. After he kills 13 witches from this family, he will then be fully revived and will now walk the earth 24/7, enslaving all these people to do his demise. So lo and behold, Cassie is that 13th witch, and she's like, oh, I didn't even know we're witches. We got powers. I have to fight like a vampire now, and he's gonna kill me. So she's dealing with that, and it's just such a good, like, funny slice of life, family, like, relationship, friendship kind of book. I really enjoyed this. 4-star read for me. The vibes were great. The writing was good. I love the humor in this. I love the realness. I think this was a really well written book. I loved the little action parts, the little funny little hoo-ha-has. It was good. I recommend this book to a lot of people. If I could, I'd recommend this book to anyone and everyone. So if you need a witchy read, you need a Halloween read, you need a funny, spooky read because you're not into that scariness, this is good for you. There's not really anything scary. It's very PG, like Halloween Town kind of book. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey for me. I know it wasn't a traditional 24-hour challenge, but maybe next time I'll do it better. That being said, if you have any other challenges that you'd like to see me do or any book recommendations, please leave it in the comments and have a good rest of your day.